We're hanging out this week, man.
Dude, it's going to be the first. Pull the curtain back, ladies and gentlemen. I will say people really think that you and I are in the same room. They're like, they're blown away when they realize that we're not. But I feel very close to you, Thomas.
Yeah.
But we are bi-coastal, but we're going to be uni-coastal this week, which I'm so excited about. We're both going to be in the great city of New York.
The Big Apple, baby.
Dude, the last time I saw you was, I want to say, October of 23. Like, I mean, I feel like I think I've spoken to you pretty much every day since then.
Yeah.
But actually, face to face, press in the flesh.
Yeah.
October 23.
No, we're in a work from home generation.
Yeah, zooming and zooming and zooming. But yeah, I'm so excited, man. All right, so I'm going up to New York City this week to go see the band Goose. And I'm bringing you along. I'm going with actually a few different buddies, which is going to be fun and weird because it's like I have a few different friends from a few different avenues. But I'm going up just for 2 nights to see Goose. You're going on like cross country trek.
Yeah, gonna be East Coast bound for about 10 days. Most of it located in Manhattan. Yeah, I'm fired up, man. I haven't been. Yeah, the last time I was there was the last time I saw you.
You lived there for a little while too, right?
Lived there during the Crete days.
So, okay, did you feel like a New Yorker, or were you always an outsider?
I definitely felt like a Murray Hill person. They were all just like interns running around and throwing up in the street.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But we're gonna get real civilized this week. Going to see Goose, the band. You're coming with me.
Yeah.
And I'm psyched. I'm psyched to see just two fellas in the city romping around.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. Like, and also it's just I haven't been to. I was telling you this the other day. I haven't been to a concert with the boys in a decade, dude. In a decade, wow. I think. Like
last one. What do you think it might have been? Last one, like one of the most recent.
Oh boy, the last one that I went with without my wife.
Spice Girls reunion.
Oh, I
Spice
wish,
Girls
dude.
reunion.
I wish I couldn't get out to the UK.
Alicia Keys.
Did you know that I was a huge Spice Girls fan in high school, or like I guess junior high?
No, I did not know that. I picked it.
Me and my buddy.
Yeah.
I do not know how it happened, but it was just like I don't know. It was before like romantic feelings. It was before like, oh, these girls are hot. It was just like I have no idea how it happened, Chip. It was me and my buddy. We just he was into it, played the music for me. I got into it. One of my first show in a like basketball arena was the Spice Girls. We made my buddy's mom drive us all the way up to Portland. It was like a 6-hour drive to go see them where the Blazers play.
No way.
Yeah.
And what was the mom's feeling about this? Like, hey, shouldn't you guys be in a Metallica or something like that?
Moms are generally pretty supportive.
Yeah.
She wanted to go to Portland to shop anyways and had a place to drop us off for a while.
Get rid of the husband for a little bit. Yeah. And it's the whole vibe of the Spice Girls. If you want to be a Spice Girls fan, you just got to get with your friend. That's all you got to do.
There was a wardrobe malfunction, Chip, before they were even popular.
Okay.
And I do believe the first nipple I ever saw in real life was Scary Spice. Scary Spice.
I got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Scary seems like the one that would. Yeah.
Have you seen that Mentalist guy that's going around to all the comedy podcasts? Like I think he did Rogan and he did like Flagrant.
Does he have a bunch of nip slips?
He's very nip slip centric in his act. But I think you just outdid anything I've ever seen that guy do.
Yeah.
I mean,
just Scary Spice.
You Scary Spiced it. That's a 20% probability.
I even said Spice Girls too. Like
I know.
And then you reveal this early on in episode 19 that you just drop on my lap that you were a Spice Girls fan. And you just lay it out there.
I was in it.
That is a lot to take in early on in an episode. I have to think about every other topic we're going to talk about, but think about prepubescent Thomas O'Brien really getting into wannabe in Spice World.
Yeah, and I think this is a really big reveal because, like, clearly I'm in junior high boy.
I'm shocked, Thomas.
A junior high boy, I wasn't telling anybody. We were closeted Spice Girl fans.
Really? Okay, so this wasn't like sweeping your school or anything like that.
No. It was just like, he... He went and printed a bunch of pictures. They were all over his room.
Okay, so I can see. I get that.
Yeah, they were on TRL a lot. You know, you could watch the music videos. They had a movie out, I think, and it was like a really silly comedy, and we'd watch that a bunch. And then we ended up going to see him, and it would have been death. It was like we were both on the football team.
Thomas, bring it in right now. Just don't even think. Just say it. Don't even think. Just say it. Favorite Spice Girl. Go.
Posh.
Oh wow! Look at
Victoria Beckham.
Victoria Beckham. Fancy pants up there in Oregon.
Very appealing lady in a lot of regards, Chip.
I mean, she's got it all.
She's got it all.
And we've got it all in episode 19. I got something for you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do this?
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude. This is.
You feeling like a burnt one today? You feeling like one?
I'm feeling like one.
I slathered this on yesterday. I had to go out for a little bit, and man, it's just the vibe. I wore my Hawaiian-Shirt out yesterday to a podcast, and I think I just brought joy to the room. And like, it wasn't even like here's the thing that I worry about. I do have a worry.
Yeah.
That we're talking about wearing these Hawaiians. It's not silly. It's not wacky. This is not like 1980s morning radio, traveling stand-up comedian with a guitar.
Yeah.
Get goofy.
Yep.
With a whatever. With the giant sunglasses. This is just a vibe. It's a low key. I'm just having a good time here. It's Jeff Bridges in The Big Lebowski. It's the dude more than Gallagher. Let's say. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the vibe that I'm going for. I don't know about you, Thomas.
If somebody accused us of going for Gallagher, I'd smash him in the head with a mallet, Chip.
See, Thomas, I think that would not be arguing the point that you think it is.
No, I'd really rough him up. A couple of hooks, get him in a rear naked choke, and just watch the life drain out.
All right, okay, there it is. I think that's what you got to do.
Where did you come across that one, Chip?
This is a found one. I honestly don't know. I don't know where it came from. It just like
wait a second.
It showed up in my closet. Yeah.
I think I remember you discovering this like many years ago before we were talking about this. Wasn't it part of a sketch or something back in the day?
I think it was. I used to do a character called Bing Supernova, and it was just in a duffel bag of like his old outfits, and this was in there.
Bing was on Last Comic Standing.
He was.
Has this shirt been on, what was it, NBC?
NBC's Last Comic Standing. No, this shirt wasn't. It very rarely did this shirt pop out for Bing. I think it was maybe one instance.
Okay.
And there is an outside chance that this was in one way or another stolen from Johnny Goodtimes, honestly, because he would make me do Bing sometimes for like his Quizzo Bowls and stuff like that. So there is an outside chance that this was originally his shirt.
Man.
Yeah, but it sat in a duffel bag for half a decade. And then it just emerged about a year ago, and then
it looks great.
Look at me.
Yeah. It looks great. I also like breaking news here on the podcast. We'll see, but I've got a couple of Hawaiian shirts right now, Chip.
Yeah.
Being hand-sewn.
Nice.
Hand-sewn.
Beautiful.
So I pulled the trigger, made an order. Very excited about it. Got to pick out the fabric. With the prints I liked.
Are you going to disclose, or are we going to let it be a surprise?
Disclose what's on it? No. I think you got to see the visuals. Me describing the shirt, I hope will show up. Will be
not
pointless.
Do it justice.
But I didn't even know it was an option. It is an option. We're having fine artisans crafting these shirts up, and dude, I'm fired up. So it's that level, like the premium level. And then you've also got the thrift store level, some gently used, like this bad boy right here. I got at like a secondhand shop on the Big Island, baby.
Yeah.
We were just having.
See that? Oh, so Hawaiian thrift, which is like, that's where it's at.
Yeah. And it's like,
right
they know it too. So it wasn't like a steal of a deal. Like they're like, this is like a vintage thing. But it was just one just sang out to me. My wife at the same place got the best Aloha shirt I've ever seen. She looks so great. Cool. It's like one of those things that actually fits really well. It looks like, you could have bought it in a high-end store today, but it's like obviously vintage, fits are perfect. And then this was the counterpart on the men's side of the store. and it just really sung out above all the other options, Chip.
I believe, and I don't want to get this wrong, but I believe, according to Duff, he said a good place to find them, Ross Dress for Less.
Oh, I bet.
You get some in there. So there's one not too far from us. That's literally, not to blow up her spot, but that is literally my wife's favorite store to shop at because that's who she is. She loves a good deal.
And she loved David Schwimmer and Friends.
Yes, I wanted to go to Rachel's Dress for Less, but she decided not. Yeah. I think I'm going to open up. I would love to open up someday a discount gentleman's club. Okay. And call it Ross's Undress for Less.
I like it.
Right?
I like it. What makes it discount? Like how? Because Ross Dress for Less takes items that were unsellable in better department stores. So what is Ross's Undress for Less?
I mean, not to pull the curtain back from comedy, but I think you just have to keep going with that metaphor, and you got it, Thomas. Okay. I think that's all it is. I think we have our business plan, our business models done. Any investors? Oh, Ross's Undress for Less. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Trademark it. Yeah. TM.
Yeah.
Ross's Undress for Less.
Right now. Should we get into this, buddy? We're zooming through, and should we get into this episode?
Yeah, zooming through. Today, we're going to be talking about concert etiquette. We've got the mystery shirt story from yesterday or from last week that we didn't have time to cover, and then we're going to be talking about prepping for flights because I'm getting ready to travel. You're traveling. We're all traveling to Hawaii. This November, and then if we have time, we're gonna do a little joke work on crafting some jokey jokes. So
see if we get those in.
Sunburnt podcast. We're talking about tropical travel and comedy. If you're into that stuff, stay tuned. Front desk.
Hi, this is Mr. Chantry in room 316. I'd like to order some room service for me and some friends.
I can help you out with that, Mr. Chantry. What would you like?
Let's start out. Do you have shrimp cocktail?
We do.
Let's start out with shrimp cocktail. And what do raccoons like to eat?
I'm reading you loud and clear. We'll send up 2 shrimp cocktails. Chip, episode 19, the Sunburnt podcast. We are 153 days away from Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
Get your tickets now. Blue Note Jazz Club, Waikiki, the night before Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing a new hour. Come out and see us. Not just for that, but come out. We're bringing a bunch of people out to Hawaii just to have some fun, to year-end celebration, to give thanks, to just have some fun, bringing out 2025 right. And, come with us. Thanksgiving week, Hawaii, the Sunburnt podcast to you.
We're just trying to have something fun to look forward to. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world, and we're choosing a positive thing that we can just look forward to every day. It's Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
I did want to comment on what's going on in the world right now. And I just want to get your take on it. Would you say that things in the world right now are wacky?
I would say they're wacky tobacky.
Yeah, I would say they are crazy, zany.
There's world-class shenanigans, global shenanigans.
Yeah, worldwide ballyhoo. And that's our take on current events, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's our take. There. We literally
we're getting into the issues.
Hawaiian print shutters over our eyes when we're doing this podcast because we just want to soak in the good vibes. We want to smell the Hawaiian tropic. We want to take a vacation in our mind, focus on comedy, the thing we love, and spend some time with you fine folks. So
I think if you are listening to this podcast, that's great. Just close your eyes and listen. If you're watching us on YouTube, I think the way you should watch it, kind of like you said with the blinders, is to get some Hawaiian-Shirt fabric, drape it over your computer, and then put it over your head like an old-timey photographer.
Yeah.
And then you should just sit there with that, like a little tent, little sunburnt tent right there. And that's how you should watch the podcast.
Yeah, if you choose to make, just wanting to be in the islands nonstop, thinking about tropical locations, if you choose to make that your spiritual home, that endeavor, I think this is a real nice tenet. I think that feels like a ceremony that works along with that kind of lifestyle.
if you are on a bus or a subway commuting to work, you just get some Hawaiian material, drape it over yourself, and just laugh loudly to yourself under that drape. And you won't be bothering anybody else.
You won't be bothering. As a matter of fact, they'll think you're a Hawaiian ghost.
Aloha.
Yeah. Also, the only other thing we ask, if you want to join this religion we're making up right now, is that if you were going to have intercourse, please do it through a hole in a vintage Hawaiian shirt that you've cut.
In a vintage Hawaiian shirt. Those are that's the first tenet of our religion of Sunburnt, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in coming episodes.
Does it prevent
STDs?
Does it prevent unwanted pregnancies?
No, it does not.
It has no benefit except you get to, kind of think about us a little bit while you're getting busy.
Exactly, because that's exactly what you think about your two favorite podcast boys as you're making sweet love. Have you ever been in that situation, Thomas, where you were just like causing a ruckus on I'll give an example. This is, because you don't want to be that guy who is playing like his phone loudly or whatever. And I think we've talked about this, like just like on a bus or on a subway, whatever. I took a bus, actually. Honestly, it might have been the last time. This is crazy. It's been a long time since I'm so close to New York City. I've not been in New York City since before the pandemic. I'm pretty sure the last time I was up in New York was I was visiting our buddy Nick. Nick was up there.
Nick Brewer.
And we got to get Nick Brewer, and they were working on a project, on a TV project, and he was like, let's get together, have some lunch, and we'll throw some ideas together, whatever. So we did that, and I got to hang out with him for the day, and I forget what we did, some other fun stuff. Oh, we went to like this like board game shop, of course, and like just like a bunch of cool stuff. We're walking over to New York City, and as we're having dinner, he was telling me about this new show on Netflix called The Characters.
Oh yeah.
And it's like all these like comedy people, these sketch people. They gave them each like a half hour to do whatever they want with it, to do comedy sketches. He's like, you have to watch this guy Tim Robinson, and never heard of the guy before. And I was like, all right, Tim Robinson, got it. Sounds like Tim Robbins, Shawshank Redemption, but Tim Robinson, got it. Don't know who this guy is. And I get on the mega bus or the Bolt bus on the way, on the drive home to Philadelphia that night. It's dark out. It's like 10 p.m. It's quiet. It's a quiet bus. And of course I got my headphones at me and my earbuds in, and I just pull out my phone and I am watching Tim Robinson's episode of The Characters, and I am cackling, laughing on this very quiet bus. And I can't help it, but I could, but I was also so obsessed I couldn't stop watching it.
Well, and we've talked about this, that has the Pointer Brothers on it, right? That's where the Pointer Brothers is from.
100%. That might have been the hardest left. Yeah.
It just keeps going. What else was on there that spoke to you, buddy? Do you remember?
The one right before it is maybe my favorite sketch of all time. It's the one where he's Morley, and he's like the sad guy who works in the limousine office, and it's like his name's Raj, I think, King of the Slams is this other dude. You would recognize and other stuff, and it's like he's just this jerk at the office, and there's these other like kind of laughing guys, and he's like this guy's just a jerk, and he's like making fun of everybody, but like they love it when they make fun of him, and he's just like he's just like he's like, hey Raj, you think I can fit this? He takes out a donut and he goes, hey Raj, you think I can fit this whole thing in his mouth? And he goes, that's what your mother said to me last night. And they're like, oh, and he's like, wait just a minute, you spoke to my mother last night? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh God. He picks up the phone. He's like, Dad, I got good news, I got bad news. Good news, Mom's still alive. Bad news, she's banging Raj, King of Slams.
Yeah,
and it goes on from there. And it gets worse. So it's like that one, and then it's the Mr. Luck, the one where he's kind of like the Dean Martin
yes,
Rat Pack guy, and he loses all his money. And then the one with the 80s wrestling guy, where he's just the loser, he keeps losing. And I think it's the one where he sings the song about his baby daughter. I think you can relate to this.
Yeah.
And he like puts his baby daughter down for a nap, and he starts singing this beautiful song about her growing up, kind of like a Cats in the Cradle kind of thing, but like his baby daughter, and you're going to grow up. Butterfly Kiss is kind of like this thing, and dance at your wedding. And then the man that you're going to meet is this guy, and he's going to marry you, he's going to take care of you. And then the song just becomes about that guy and about how like he's basically obsessed with the guy. And he's like, right. Yeah. And then I think the last one is the famous gun shop episode where he wants to buy a gun. And he's like, just for security. And it's just like, it's basically just, I don't want to give it away, but it's,
Anyways, this is Chip's big rec for the week. Is if you haven't seen Tim Robinson's The Characters on Netflix, and you already have Netflix, go give it a peek.
Yeah, you do. Give it a look-see.
You'll see where I Think You Should Leave was clearly gestating, leading up to it. But Chip, I would be remiss if we didn't jump into it. Everybody's on the edge of their seats.
Yes,
You've all been waiting since last week when we teased the most disruptive shirt that's ever been worn on a cruise ship, Chip.
Bated breath. All right, here we go. So there's a guy. He apparently is an influencer. His name's Ricky Bobby. All right, so we got that. Let's get that out of the way, right? And he was apparently, he and his lady friend, wife, somebody, they were on a Carnival cruise ship. And he feels like maybe he's a burnt one. He's on the cruise. He's wearing some Hawaiian garbs. And a lot of ladies are coming up to him and being very flirty, like very forward, just kind of grabbing his hand. And his like wife is right there, or his lady friend is like right there. And I think the story is he was then, and he doesn't know why. He's like, why is this happening on this cruise? Is this like a swingers cruise or something like that? Apparently it's not. But he apparently went to the comedy show on the cruise, and I guess he was like sitting up towards the front, and the comedian started making fun of his shirt and was like, "Oh, you guys are swingers, huh? You're here for a good time." And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Why are you wearing the pineapple shirt?" He was wearing pineapples on his Hawaiian shirt, and apparently that is code for
being part of the lifestyle.
Being part of the lifestyle. And I think that, by the way, that does go back, because it's like, I know that pineapples are like, it's like a sign of welcome or whatever, but I think like an upside down pineapple is like, I could be wrong about this, but it's almost like the sailors are coming home, and it's like, here's where they should come for a good time kind of situation.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. So I think that's maybe where that started.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so now the pineapple is like, and I guess like some couples on cruise ships will like put a picture of like an upside down pineapple maybe like on their cabin door to like let people know like, hey guys, we're having fun in here. Like that kind of situation. So it's like it's the opposite of hanging a tie on the doorknob. It's like, if this cabin's rocking, come on in.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Like I think also if there's like a pineapple, not on a cruise ship, but in your yard, if there's like a pineapple statue, or if you have a party and like you're walking in the door and there's pineapple decorations around, I think that's also code for if you know, this is what this party's all about.
What if you just like pineapples, though, Thomas?
Here's my problem. The problem.
I just enjoy pineapples.
There's a lot of innocent pineapple enthusiasts that just enjoy nature's sweet treat.
I would put that if I was in the dating market and I was on the apps. I think how did you say it? Innocent pineapple enthusiast.
Yes,
that'd be right under my profile page. Right there. Chip, my age, innocent pineapple enthusiast.
I mean, there's a lot to love about a pineapple. It tastes great. It was my daughter's favorite food for like months and months. We just put it in this little thing that had some holes, and she could nom on it and suck out the juice. She would go absolutely nuts for it. And I will say, like, for my money, the only fruit that has a fun haircut.
It's got a great haircut. And it's got fun skin, too. It's got a scary exterior.
Yeah.
There's so much going on with pineapples. I will say this. I am a late adopter of for whatever reason, I had an aversion to them when I was a kid. I wanted to like them, but I didn't. They might be my favorite fruit now.
Wow.
It might be. Yeah.
That's big. That's big praise.
Love a good pineapple. Yeah, it is. It's high praise, and it's deserving praise. I did a joke about this a few times, but I think it's totally true. If I can get a little serious, right now, that it's never judge a book by its cover. That a pineapple, it's kind of ugly on the outside and grizzled and ugly and kind of very sort of disgusting on the outside. But then if you take a knife and you cut into it, it's just beautiful and just sweet and beautiful and innocent, like you said, and just you cut into it with a knife, and so it's like ugly on the outside, just sweet and beautiful on the inside. And the exact opposite can be said about children. If you take a knife to them, just gross on the inside, all gross on the inside. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's gruesome, Chip.
I will say that I don't know if this pineapple thing is like, I think it might be a regional thing. It might only be maybe like a Hawaiian West Coast or a cruise thing, because I think it like on the East Coast, I think it means something different, because like I have a pineapple shirt and like I'll wear it out a lot. And every time that does, a lot of women come up to me just like randomly and they're like, I think of you as a brother. So
yeah, I mean that kind of tracks that maybe it might be the same thing, Chip. Like, wearing the shirt is the ask. It's like, hey, do you want to blah, blah, blah? And they're just letting you down gently.
No.
Nope. No. Okay. Well, then riddle me this, Chip. What if people, on cruise ships in the West Coast and Hawaii are putting pineapples on there, what's New Jersey putting on their decor to let you know they're down to clown?
Just a Bon Jovi T-shirt.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
That means you're ready to get after it.
Yeah, I think a Bon Jovi T-shirt would do that. Just any cheesesteak shop, logo would be good. It's like, he's down. He's ready to go. Let's do this.
I love it. Well, I think there's one key difference between me and Ricky Bobby. Aside from the followers and the success on social media.
Of course.
I've never gone into a situation where I didn't assume everybody in a place was trying to bone me and my wife as a couple. And
wait, say that
I
again?
always assume everybody's trying to sleep with us, Chip.
Interesting. All right.
It's my baseline, and I let my wife know directly. I'm like, listen, there's going to be a lot of people in here. They're all going to want to have some kind of, relations with us as a couple. And like, I just want to reaffirm right now, so we know how to handle it when we get in there, that's not our thing. That's not who we are. We're not, inviting that level of, new chaos into our relationship. And she's always like, I don't know that anybody's going to be thinking that. I'm like, everybody's going to be thinking that. Yeah. Every single person in there is a predator on us. Mm-hmm. The eye candy we're bringing into this place is off the charts, and they're all fiending for it. So let's just know what we're walking into, so we can politely decline and say, you know what, we just think of you as a friend.
It's good to have a plan, Thomas. Yeah. It's good to have a plan, and I'm glad that you and your wife have discussed that because of the numerous times. I'm assuming that since you have that vibe now, you're like, this is not going to happen. You put it out there to the room, and maybe even just your body language, your facial expressions, even just if you believe in vibrations between people, that nobody then comes up to you and asks you that, because they know. Yeah. It's like they know subconsciously, you shall not pass.
We've done the work, so we never once have been asked,
Yeah, that's smart, Thomas, because otherwise people would just literally just be physically throwing themselves at you.
I know it. Like I saw what's going on with Ricky Bobby, and I was like, you know what? He just didn't even think this was going to be an issue. He went in there completely unaware that this was coming down the pike. He could have headed all that off if he was just aware, changed his posture a little bit. And I think that would really overshadow even the pineapple. I don't know if you realized last week, my shirt had a pineapple on it.
Oh, wow.
It did. Last week's podcast. And not one person said anything to me all day.
See, because you put out the vibe of politely but firmly, I am not interested.
Did you say politely but firmly?
You put spermly. Yeah, maybe. Politely but firmly. Yeah. Politely but firmly. You should, yes. This is the vibe that we don't want. And I think that's important, Thomas.
Yeah. So
whether it's firmly or spermly.
And just so you know, if any of you meet me and my wife, we've already talked about it, and we're not interested.
The answer is no.
I know.
So, yeah.
But Chip, I do. Well, he wore this shirt by mistake. He didn't know the message he was putting out. Mm-hmm. other shirts could you wear that could be misconstrued? Like, does anything hit you? Any ideas? Like, what would the heightened level of this be?
Right. Like, I think it would just be like Hawaiian kind of like font or something like that. It's like, please sleep with me all over. You know, like just,
Oh, okay.
hey, I'm here. You know, yeah, something like that. I would like. See, that brings up a really good point, Thomas. Okay, here we go. I think we design T-shirts and by the T-shirts or Hawaiian shirts that have specific messages. Like, okay, so the pineapple, we know that one.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we come up with a line, and maybe this is already happening. Maybe there are other vegetations that are other signals that we don't know about. Maybe we have to do some research.
Yeah.
But if not, I think there could be, and they would all be in the Hawaiian Aloha shirt design. But like, what if they were like sort of like flat, like red roses, right?
Okay.
Or arranged in like a red octagon with like a white stripe around them. And that would just be signal for stop talking to me. Just don't talk to me. Like I'm enjoying my island vibe, but I want to do it by myself. Please stop talking to me.
It's the real world version of turning the chat off on your Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So that's a subtle message. It's still friendly. It's still nice, but it lets people
it's
who know.
It's festive.
Yeah.
How about? Can you think of one? Like what else could we market?
Yeah.
That
so
would
like
mean something.
If pineapple symbols like we're ready to have this group encounter. Mm-hmm. I think if your shirt featured a bottle of Pine Sol, that would indicate that like I'm not interested in being part of your group activity, but I will clean up after it. That's kind of like what I'm into.
It's the helpful shirt.
Yeah.
The helpful shirt. And with a sponsorship behind it. You get, it's going to be knocked off. You're going to get it for a lot cheaper because the good people of Pine Sol will be hopefully advertising.
The helpful shirt for after they all squirt, Chip.
I mean, there it is. Why are you not writing slogans? Why are you not on Madison Avenue immediately?
Because I refuse to go with their yuppie dress code, Chip.
I know. They don't want the flower.
You can't wear a Hawaiian on the 87th floor. Not on Madison Avenue.
No. All right, what about this one? A Hawaiian shirt, and again, it's in the Hawaiian thing, but they're basketballs, right? Basketballs that are surrounded by brown fur. Okay, basketballs surrounded by brown fur. And that just means to people who see it, ask me anything about the movie Teen Wolf. I am the leading scholar on the 1985 Michael J. Fox classic Teen Wolf. Please ask me anything about it. I would like to talk to you about Teen Wolf. It's like being a swinger, but instead of intercourse, you get the joy of learning inside facts about the 1985 Michael J. Fox film Teen Wolf.
This brings up something. I never got a response from you, but did you see that picture I sent you of Jason Bateman and Michael J. Fox together?
Yes. They're wolfing it up, baby.
I was like,
they're back together.
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, there's only one person in the world I need to send this to. It's the leading scholar on the film franchise.
Leading scholar of the film franchise, Teen Wolf.
What two leading men, too. Good gravy.
Man, what a 1-2 punch right there.
1-2 punch. Okay, what about this? Like, any Hawaiian shirt that has money on it, like cash or coins, is a symbol that, like, hey, buddy, I'll help you cheat on your taxes and your wife.
A twofer.
A twofer. It's
a Bateman and a Fox right there.
A Bateman and a Fox. It's a CPA who signed an NDA not to expose your PDA.
There it is. Business cards should be made up immediately, Thomas. That's it.
I think, I feel like this guy looks like Stavros.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, just in a Hawaiian with some coins, some cash, some cha-ching, probably a little thin necklace.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. That's the guy you would go to for either of those things, and now he's giving you both.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What about this? What about like there's like chocolate ice cream like all over it,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
And that would be code for I love chocolate ice cream and I'm very clumsy.
I think that's a clear message to the rest of the world that that's exactly what you're dealing with.
It's just an irregular Hawaiian shirt with the traditional coloring and patterns, but then it's just chocolate ice cream all day, just down the front of it, just down the front, lots of chocolate ice cream.
Speaking of like a more literal take on it, what about if your shirt, people can look at it and see that it's balled up in the corner of your super nice penthouse on the floor?
Yes.
You are an OnlyFans model.
That's code right there. You're like, I'm using context clues right now.
It's the t-shirt code.
Yeah. The T code. I love it. I love it. What if they, among the flowers and the foliage, there were just pictures of 1990s American singer-songwriter Duncan Sheik?
Ooh, are you barely breathing?
Yes. Do you know what that's code for?
Oh no.
That's code for I am a fan of the 1990s singer-songwriter Duncan Sheik.
That's what I'm talking about. I remember buying that album at a used record store.
Okay. Stop. Okay. Podcast has come to a halt.
Uh-huh.
You have revealed early on in the episode that you were a huge Spice
Big
Girls
time.
fan as a young man,
Yeah.
as a tween. Now you're dropping I owned at least one Duncan Sheik album.
Yep.
Tell me all about it. I need to know everything. All I know is that song. That I know I Am Barely Breathing. Great song.
I think yeah.
Great song.
Great song. I think that's all I know, but like this is another thing, like Chip, I was a guitar guy.
Oh, that's right.
I was a guitar
Thomas
guy.
He is quite the talented guitar man. Yeah.
We've talked about like people who bring their own music to an environment and kind of turn it on, how annoying that is. Only in hindsight did I realize it is 10 times more annoying to bring a guitar to a function and just force everybody to listen to your dog crap.
I will say there's one exception to that rule that I've seen.
Yeah.
My buddy Dave Hobbs, he graduated a year ahead of me in high school. He played Tevye in our rendition of Fiddler on the Roof my junior year of high school, because he looks like as a 16-year-old boy, he looked like Tevye. Like he's just this big guy and he's classically trained tenor singer. Is the most talented person I've ever seen. Could just sing anything, but he could also just pick up an acoustic guitar and he would play like kind of like folk songs, fun songs. He would make up his own songs that were hilarious.
Yeah.
But he would do like Harry Chapin songs and everything, right? He knew everything, and he could just play, and he just sang beautifully. And he would show up to a party with his guitar, or like more times than not, he would just find a guitar. Like somebody had an acoustic guitar at the party.
Yeah.
Or he might bring it. And what he would do is like, and we weren't like wild, like the kids that I hang out with, we were not partying. We were not like boozing it up, drugging it up. We were just like, we're drinking Mountain Dews and getting crazy, and we were listening to Spice Girls, but we were having our good, very wholesome fun. And he would just take the guitar and he would just go in, he would just find a room by himself or like down in the basement. He would just sit in a room all alone and just quietly play the guitar all by himself. And within 30 minutes, the entire party was jammed into that room.
Oh, that's such a smarter way to do it.
And we would, because he's so talented, he would just draw everybody in. And, it could just be kids. Kids are up in the kitchen and in the living room and on the back porch and stuff like that. And he would just go down in the basement and just, in the rec room and just like start quietly playing and singing. And there'd be like 2 people like just sitting there watching him. And then it'd be 4 people. And then it'd be 9 people. And then it'd be like 40 kids just packed into a basement. And he would have his own concert. It was incredible.
Does he still play? Do you still know the guy?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's still great. Still, he like orchestrates. Like he's a composer. He's a conductor. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, I actually hired him for not to get into it, but for this I work with this like teacher, this company we work with teacher stuff, and I actually hired him to come in as an entertainer. He did a bunch of Christmas songs one year for Christmas.
That's great. Well, I mean, who knows if we play our cards right? Maybe he's playing you on to stage. Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise.
Thanksgiving in Paradise this
November
at the Blue Note Jazz Club. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a nice little Easter egg for all the burners out there?
Yeah. Yeah. So moral of the story is be careful what your shirt says, either explicitly or implicitly.
Yeah.
Because you need to know what symbols mean on these, especially these shirts.
Yeah.
And, and more, I think the fashion, Thomas, if I can get into it, is going to get more complex because some of the shirts that I like, besides just Hawaiian shirts, I'll pay a lot of money for a shirt.
Yeah.
Because the patterns are so complex.
Yeah, and especially if the guys in the store look just like you.
They look just like me. It's like every shirt looks just like me.
I did have one more thought, Chip. If your shirt, and this goes two ways. This is why like you can slice both directions, and you have to be so careful. But if your shirt has a pineapple upside down cake on it,
yes,
you are either the sweetest old lady in the world. Mm-hmm. Or the dirtiest dog in the pound.
Yeah, you are.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, that is taking a pineapple to a whole new upside down level.
It is. But more importantly, I want to talk about how we interpret dog speaking. How do you get from rough to bow wow? Like
to bark. Let's throw bark
to bark. It's like I think rough.
Yeah.
Pretty much encapsulates what's happening there. I've never heard a bow wow.
No.
But
like unless it's like more of like that's more of like a howl.
Yeah,
but bow wows.
I've heard a howl, but like I think I got one of the books that I read my daughter. It says dogs go bow wow wow, but like
no, they don't.
They don't. Ducks go quack.
Don't push.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Cats meow. They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
But dogs go rough or bow wow wow is what the book says. This book is propaganda. I don't know what they're pushing. It's not the truth.
I'm not generally a fan of book burning.
Yeah.
This is the exception to the rule.
Maybe we'll get together in Central Park and have a good old-fashioned book burning, Chip.
If your child's coloring book says to the dog say bow wow, we are damning them for all eternity. These are satanic books.
Yeah.
They shall burn.
Meet us by the zoo. We're going to burn some books.
And we're going to listen to what animals really sound like. Children, you're going to learn now.
Yeah, and we're going to bring our own tunes. Because this is all going to be done to a medley of Spice Girls, Duncan Sheik. And who else? Yeah. Who would be a third member of the group? Who else did I like, Chip? Who else did I like? You got to guess.
If you like Duncan Sheik, you probably enjoyed Delamitri too.
Delamitri, there we go.
Roll to me.
These are the three. These are the three that we're going for.
Yeah. Late 90s hits. Maybe a oh man, I'm blanking. Maybe a Matthew Sweet or a Semisonic.
Oh, Semisonic, Blues Travelers in there in that time period.
All right, little Gin Blossoms. Oh, a little Spacehog. We're gonna have a little Spacehog.
Spacehog, Eagle Eye Cherry, Save Tonight.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Semisonic, I have to say, and actually, I think there was a question about Delamitri. I did a really fun podcast called the Catered Quiz. That our friends Nick and Joe they suggested me for. So look up the Catered Quiz. It was a lot of fun, and I answered trivia questions on two of my favorite topics: Jaws, the movie Jaws, and 90s music.
Oh wow!
And Delamitri was one of the answers. Spoiler alert. But
they're really tickling both your bands there, Chip.
Really, yes, they really went for it. Yeah, I mean, I got to pick the topics that I got my beans tickled to.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's
hence the catered portion of the name.
Exactly. So this is our next year's. So you're coming to Hawaii this year to see me perform at the Blue Note Jazz Club. Next year is going to be a comedy and music festival in Hawaii, headlined by again, I don't know if legally we're allowed to say this, but I'm going to go for it. The Spice Girls. Duncan Sheik.
Duncan Sheik.
Blues Traveler. Len. If I can just keep going here. Yeah.
Can we pause on this?
The Wallflowers.
Can we pause on this for 1 second? I need to tell you. So I saw something. I meant to talk to you about it. It's right in this zone.
Okay.
It's right in your Q range. It's your exact Q range.
It's my exact Q range.
So I saw an article where one of our favorite bands, and maybe more me and your wife's than yours. Do you know who I'm talking about already?
Probably because it's one of my favorite too. Is it Live?
No. Gin Blossoms.
Oh, the Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms.
There it is. That was my second. Love the Gin Blossoms.
So recently I saw an article or a headline or something. The Gin Blossoms played a whole set as the Gin Blossoms. They only played Goo Goo Dolls covers, and nobody said anything. They were like, nobody noticed, nobody knew. They're just like, people like just kind of want to have a show. They know our name. Apparently, they don't care what songs we play.
Okay, that is the most on-brand thing I've heard. Knowing what I know about the Gin Blossoms, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard, and it's so hilarious, but not surprising at the same time. That is hilarious, but because I don't know if I told this story on here, but like I took my wife to see the Gin Blossoms about 15 years ago, and I like the Gin Blossoms. Hey Jealousy, they had a couple songs, whatever.
Some really great songs for the time.
Never really thought about it. Some radio hits. I didn't know them other than that. I never owned an album. My wife was obsessed, so I saw they were coming to this little outside of Philly, not even in Philly. It was outside of Philly in Chester, Pennsylvania, a casino, and they played, I don't want to call it a glorified conference room because it was a conference room. And it was just them on stage and then just the conference room carpet and then 30 feet of space in the carpet and then just the rows of those conference room stackable chairs.
Yeah.
And everybody was just sitting on the chairs, and they come out, the Gin Blossoms, and they sing a song or two, and everybody's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's them, a big gap, and then everybody just sitting there. And I think his name's Robin Wilson, the lead singer, starts yelling at us and was like, you guys can't do this. We need your energy. We're going to have a party tonight. We're going to do this. Get up. Get out of your seats. I want everybody up. Get up here to the stage. You're going to dance. And they put on one of the most fun concerts I have ever been to in my entire life. And the thing about the Gin Blossoms, like, you think you know 3 songs. You know, like 8 songs.
No, they had an incredible run, and they're all, like, I love them.
They're great. They're great. And they were so fun and funny, and, like, they knew where they were. A couple years later, we saw them. They literally played the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. We did, in Philadelphia, it was a touring marathon that went from city to city where you would run, and, like, every mile there would be, like, a different band playing. And, like, these were just, like, local musicians or whatever. But then when you got back to the finish line, there was a big party, and everybody's drinking at 10 a.m. and having food or whatever. And there would always be like a fairly big name band, and the Gin Blossoms were the band this time, and they knew they're like, yeah, we're drinking coffee at 10 a.m. and this is what our life is now. And they were hilarious and fun and gracious, and like that's what you need. And like I would go see the Gin Blossoms anytime because they were just a fun, but not they. There are some bands that are just bitter and they take themselves too seriously and they get angry and they would. No, not these guys. They were great. But to play, Thomas, just a set of the Goo Goo Dolls that's the funniest thing.
It was so good. And I have a Gin Blossom story too. And
Go.
In college, I went to see him at the Wow Hall, I believe, in Eugene.
So you did progress from the Spice Girls up to the Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, I mean, it was all in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't only just listen to one thing. I've always been very open-minded, Chip.
Eclectic, Thomas.
I take a little bit of what's good from everything, but largely, if you were on, like, I remember just being obsessed. I'd wake up early and I'd watch like the MTV Top 10, and then I'd also watch the VH1 Top 10. So like, if you want any two of those, like, I didn't care. I knew VH1 was for a little bit older people, a little bit mellower people.
A little adult contemporary, a little Coldplay, a little Shaddy.
But I liked them both, Chip.
Yeah, you
I
did.
just liked music. I was a music kid.
So did I.
But
Yep.
anyways, big fan of the Gin Blossoms. I think I had their first 2 albums when it was like I had to go to a CD store and pay with like lawn mowing money to get those albums.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
loved them. Big fan. And this is only a couple years later. It's like, I'm in college. So
Yeah.
you wonder how a star burns out that fast. But like, I bought tickets to see the Gin Blossoms. I was fired up, and we got there, and if I'm saying there was 12 people, I'm probably being a little generous. Total.
Really?
I don't know if it was under promoted or people just didn't care or whatever, because like it's a big college town. Wow Hall's kind of like the venue everybody knows, where like they had some cheaper tickets than everywhere else, and it was a good venue to see stuff at. So we went to go see him. Like, it was me, a buddy, and maybe 3 other groups of 2.
Yeah.
In this big performance space.
Oh my God.
No chairs. It's a standing, so everybody's kind of spread out, and they did that thing. Like, they brought everybody in, and they were just like such great attitudes. We're going to have a show. I remember it. Like, they played a couple of songs, got everybody in there, and like we are doing our best to make it feel like there's more than 8 people there.
Yeah.
And then I remember the guy just being like, "Come hell or high water, we're putting on a goddamn rock show tonight," or something along those lines. And as he says that, the power in the whole building just shuts off. The like emergency lights come on by the exits, and but it was right after the "Come hell or high water, we're putting on a rock show tonight," and and that's when the high water came in, Chip, power wise,
Literally,
and just
and
there
was
was
hell.
that big even ka-chunk sound of the light, like the power going off. And it's just dark right over your study. I remember, that's pretty fun. You couldn't even laugh because you felt bad for them. The power came back on, and they played all the hits. They were freaking great. I just remember being very perplexed of like, and I think the band.
Why is nobody here?
Yeah, I think the band was more perplexed than we were.
Yeah,
I think they were still doing pretty well at the time. It's not like they were putting out new like hits, but they were not too far away from their.
From I'll Follow You Down.
Yeah, it's like, the Rolling Stones. I don't know a lot of their new stuff, Chip.
No,
but people still show up.
They show up for the hits. Exactly.
People, and that's what it comes down to. People love a hit.
Yeah. Do you know this? There's a story in that same zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Better Than Ezra. Love Better Than Ezra.
Better Than Ezra. Social media connection.
Yes. Yeah. The guy from Better Than Ezra liked one of my videos, and it was like so cool that we put out there. But I heard him on an interview saying one time, if you know the song, and I know you know what we're talking about here. So the song "Good" by Better Than Ezra was like kind of like the first big hit, right? Good. And if you remember at the very end of the song "Good," the song's kind of over, and you just kind of hear in this muffled voice a guy scream high pitch. He goes, "Yeah, that's right." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's at the very end of the song. He goes, "Yeah, that's right." And apparently somebody asked him, like, "What is that? Like, why did you do that?" And he's like, "Because they were either on a show or they went to see a show when they were like teenagers or whatever, and it was like some like heavy metal, like hair metal, kind of like whatever, I guess." And and it wasn't like a big band. It was just like whatever, from what I remember. And there was like nobody in the crowd, but the guy's just still doing his like, Motley Crue, whatever thing. And he goes, like, "You guys ready to party tonight or whatever?" And he just like puts the mic out to the audience, and the audience didn't say anything. And he just goes, "You guys ready for that?" "Yeah, that's right." Like, it's just his shtick. He doesn't care if the audience is there or not. But they said nothing, apparently. And he just goes, "Yeah, that's right."
I think that's something you could steal, Chip. It's something when something gets zero reaction. Like, I don't know. You talk about cutting open a kid like some cake.
That'll probably be cut out of this episode. And that's completely fine, too.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
You guys love it.
I think we only have a few minutes left. We're always so short on time, and it goes so fast, and it's so fun with you people there in YouTube land and listener land. I think we need to talk a little bit about concerts. So we're talking about some of these
Yep.
shows, right? We're talking about the bands. Let's talk about the audience members because we're going to see Goose
Yep.
at Madison Square Garden.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen a concert at Madison Square Garden. I'm very excited. I think there are some do's and don'ts, some concert etiquette that I think people sometimes maybe the pandemic, maybe whatever, people forget about.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to remind them a little concert etiquette.
Yeah. I think that's wildly appropriate, especially since we're going to see a show so soon. It'll be a good reminder for us too, Chip.
For us, yeah. So first of all, Thomas, dress for comfort. All right.
Yep.
Do you want to wear a Hawaiian shirt? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, but maybe you will. But you want to dress for comfort. Wear the comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of speaking to the ladies out there. You don't need to wear high heels. You don't need to wear this.
No.
Dress comfortably. You're out there. You're going to be dancing around. You're going to be walking to and fro. You're going to be up and down steps generally. Yeah. Dress comfortably. You got to. Okay. We're not, and it's like if somebody wants to dress maybe with like a cool T-shirt or like whatever. Also, don't go get all dolled up. Like I think a lot of these rules I think are going to be like the concert's not about you.
Right.
It's about the band and it's about us. It's about the communal experience. And I think if I can sound like a curmudgeon, I think a lot of it is like people, they make it about them and then it just ruins it for everybody around them. And I think that's what it is. So first of all, okay, here we go. So dress comfortably. Number 2, camera phone use sparingly. I'm not saying don't use it.
Yeah.
Here's what I do. I get all excited to see a band. They come out on stage. They start playing their first song. I whip out my camera right away, take a couple of shots, right? Maybe even just like a very quick video, like 30 seconds or something like that, if it's like a song I really like that they open up with. And then I put the phone away and I forget about it for the rest of the night.
I love that.
It's done. Go out, take your couple pics, and then forget about it. Be there. Don't be, because it's like in the 80s and 90s, like the trope, the comedy thing was like everybody was videotaping their kids' dance recitals.
Yeah.
You know? And this concerts have just become the dance recitals of the 2020s of just like everybody's just on their phones. And it's be there in the moment. You're not going to watch this on your phone again, really. Just put it down. You're not really probably going to post it too much. Or if you do, you're going to post like 30 seconds again. Yeah. And then just put it away.
I think that's it. Like optimize for what you're actually going to use it for. Like I don't post anything on social media generally. Like I don't care. But if this is the functionality I can see of taking a quick video at a show, it's just to share with your friends who wish they were there.
Right.
You know, it's just to show like
make them feel bad.
Yeah, you got it. You can use it to like
rub it in their faces.
Yeah, just you little poor pigs that can't go to shows. Exactly. You greasy little balls of garbage. Look what I'm doing. And then, look up from your phone to what you're doing and realize that I'm the king of the world.
Exactly.
That's it. There's no other functionality outside of that because you're not getting great video, you're not getting great sound, and you're not going to watch it again. They have professional recordings of all this music that you can just indulge in. But I get it. You get a 30-second snippet, you pop it away, and you're good to go.
Exactly. All right, another one. So no talking during concert. Don't talk. If you have to share some vital information, sure. But there's nothing that bothers me more of like when, especially if it's a quieter concert or maybe they do an acoustic song or something like that, and then you just hear, like I always wonder, have you ever like listened to like a live recording of like something and you're like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing, but then you just hear somebody talking in the background. You're like, this has been recorded for the ages. It's out there. They're selling it on a live album or they're doing whatever, and you yapped about it. Yapped through it the entire time. Like, how embarrassing would that be if you heard your voice on like a live recording where you're just like, and then Dan said this to me, and so I fucking and it's like, no, that's right. Could you imagine listening to like a Dave Matthews live album where he's just doing something acoustic, the most beautiful song, and then you just hear your voice like, and then he said this to me, and then I did this, and then that's your voice over top of Dave Matthews, what everybody wants to hear.
I get it.
Can't do it. Speaking of talking, no requests. Don't call out requests. They got their set list. Yeah. They know what they're doing. They know the flow of the evening. And by the way, when anybody requests a song, they don't they're not doing it to request the song. They're doing it to let everybody else in the audience know that they know a deep cut.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like going to like a Wilco show and being like, "Cars Can't Escape," and they're like, "Oh, you know that track that was cut off of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot that they do sometimes?" Like, no, you're not doing it because you want to hear it. You want to let everybody know that you know this fact.
Virtue signaling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I'm going to say this too. We might be breaking this rule slightly, but I think we have the exception because we're going to be sitting in two different sections and we're going to be going back and forth a little bit. And it's a couple of different people coming together. But if you're going to go to a concert, no more than a group of 4. No more than a group of 4. 4 top. That's it. Because then you get 8 people, 10 people in a group. That's when everybody's talking and you make it about them, and then somebody gets in a fight with somebody, or they're just making a big scene, or mom wants to take a selfie with everybody in the whole group, and there's like a whole section that's just now having a birthday party instead of watching Spacehog play their hits.
Yeah. Spacehog deserves your attention.
Yeah, Spacehog. I went to see a Spacehog show with my buddy Rob one time, and we got there a little late. I'm usually somebody there that likes to get there early. Rob wanted to go have a drink or two first, so I was like, fine. We get there a little bit late. We actually missed the opening act, and we got there. Spacehog was already on stage. In the Meantime is one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm like, well, they'll close with it. They'll encore with it. They opened.
Yeah, that's when you can open with.
And I missed it.
Whew.
And then years later, this is 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I was opening for Gary Goldman at the TLA, the Theater of the Living Arts in Philadelphia. And I was there backstage, and I was talking to the manager of the venue, and he's just talking about, he's like, "Oh, I used to work at this venue, that venue. We do," because like they do a lot of band, like TLA is mostly a music venue, a lot of bands. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to do this thing with like sometimes with bands that maybe only had like 1 or 2 hits, where I would say, you know what you should do, open with the hit, like, just shock everybody, and then they open with it and they got nothing left." And it's like he would just kind of do that shit. And I was like, "Oh, that's so funny," because I saw Spacehog years ago at the Note. He's like, "Chip, I used to manage the Note, and I told Spacehog to open with In the Meantime." And so he was the reason that I missed one of my favorite songs of all time.
I mean, that's abuse of power as far as I'm concerned, Chip. He took something away from you.
Yes, he did. Speaking of that, here's another rule for concert goers. Go see the opening act. Get there. You don't have to get there right at the beginning of the show, but at least catch a few songs of the opening act. You'll never know who it's going to be. You never know. Maybe it's going to be your new favorite band. Give them the love and the respect. Go see an opening act.
Yeah, I remember one time I went to see Jimmy Eat World in Portland. And it was like, do you remember The Fray?
Sure. How to Save a Life?
Yeah, How to Save a Life. So like they had like a real nice year-long run where they just put out banger after banger. And I saw them like 6 months before that because we went to see the opening act, bud.
That's what it is. For when my wife and I first started dating, I would like crash at her place and then have to like wake up super early in the morning, like drive back to my teaching job in the suburbs. And so we just set the alarm for like 5 a.m., 5:30.
Yeah.
And she had one and by the way, we still have it. It's not really, although we don't use it for this purpose. We just use it for a clock now in the bedroom. But she had a clock radio, as people used to have. That was a CD player that you could set it to play a song. And for the first like year that we were dating, when I would wake up, the alarm was the phrase, "How to Save a Life."
It was a banger, dude. Yeah, it's
piano
got some
intro.
keys. I mean, it's a little depressing.
It is, but it's a nice easy way to wake up. Like it's kind of quiet and then builds.
It's
from
an
there.
emo ease in to the day.
The emo ease in is exactly what it is. Yeah.
All right, Chip, we're running short on time here, buddy. But dude, I'm so excited. This weekend we're gonna be. If you guys are coming out to Goose, hit us up.
Yep.
We're around.
Yeah. MSG on the 28th, I think.
Yeah. It's Saturday. Madison Square Garden Saturday. I mean, there's been plenty of people that have already said they're going to be there on social media. But we'll be wearing Hawaiian shirts. If you want to let us know you're friendly, wear yours.
Wear your Hawaiian shirt.
And yeah, we can mix it up. You can hit us on the socials. Check us out at sunburntpodcast.com. That's going to have tickets and information about Chip Chantry's Thanksgiving in Paradise. You should come to that. Follow us on all the socials at sunburnt.com or at sunburntpod. Correct? At sunburntpod. Yeah, I know that.
At sunburntpod and then sunburntpodcast.com.
Yeah. And yeah, you can reach out to us, send us messages, any of those things. And next time we talk to you will be post Goose. Until then, in the meantime, stay burnt. Front desk.
Hi, this is Mr. Chantry in room 316. I'd like to order some room service for me and some friends.
I can help you out with that, Mr. Chantry. What would you like?
Let's start out. Do you have shrimp cocktail?
We do.
Let's start out with shrimp cocktail. And what do raccoons like to eat?
I'm reading you loud and clear. We'll send up 2 shrimp cocktails.
Got it.